It's been 24 hours since the devastating news that political spokesperson, commentator Charlie Kirk was murdered. And I thought it was just, lone gunman, really sad, awfully tragic. Only 31 years old, had two newborn children. One was like three, one was one, a boy and a girl. Young, loving wife left. What I didn't expect was the absolute atrocious, disgusting display by half of the internet. I expected some young college kids, the stereotypical blue hair types, to be, yucking it up and happy that someone they considered one of their grave enemies is gone. I didn't expect like grown older adults and moderate, and I didn't expect like average Democrats to act so horrible and nasty. This guy was basically Mr. Rogers. He wasn't like a controversial lightning rod who said hateful or shock jock type things. He was this very genteel, kind person who always invited other people to share the dialogue. He asked people who disagreed with him to come to the front of the line, and he respectfully asked them why they believed what they did. He explained why he believed differently. He sought to find common ground. He basically was doing the job that college campuses are supposed to do. And he went over 200 college campus visits, I believe, to sit outside and just have people come and talk and just open a dialogue, where so many college campuses and so many professors' classrooms are just completely shut down from dialogue across all sides of every aisle. They just want to share their side, which is often extreme leftism. The amazingly shocking way that he exposed so many college kids that were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for an education and couldn't answer basic questions. They would deride and make fun of him because he didn't have a college degree, and then he would start asking them questions in whatever field they were in, whether it was economics or history, and they couldn't even answer any of the questions. He proved that he was 10 times more well-read, better educated as an autodidact, somebody who teaches themselves, which is so easy to do today with the internet. And sure, people get upset when you prove them wrong, when you slay their sacred cows, but he didn't do a little dance and rub it in their face. He might have a smirk now and then, especially if they came at him with a lot of vitriol and anger and so many insults. They'd call him the worst things in the world to his face, and he would smile and say, I'm not going to call you any names back. Thank you. If you have anything meaningful to talk about. He just wanted to have meaningful conversation, which is exactly what the world needs so badly. But he never physically harmed another person. He never called for another person to be harmed. He never said horrible, mean words to other people. He never viciously tried to make somebody feel bad. He would always try to reach people who were very different than him in thought and bring them as close together and find common ground as any other person who ever engages in difficult political conversations. And I found the news broke on my own Facebook page by an actual liberal, and he stated, no matter what your opinion is, violence is never the way to solve it just because you disagree with someone's opinion. And nobody deserves to die just for having an opinion. Several other liberals on my page said similar things. So I expected basically there to be an air of somberness and, people who didn't like him just respectfully scrolling past the people who wanted to acknowledge that his passing was sad. I did nothing but put an RIP post. It was just RIP, the dates of his birth and death with a photo of him. That was it. Nothing else. I didn't say anything on my page. And I literally had people who are normally kind of interesting to argue with and can kind of make good points sometimes, although they can be kind of deceptive too. But two left-wing people came on and just thought this was a time to laugh and act hysterically disrespectful and nasty. And when they were called out by everybody else on my page, their answer was, how dare you put up a simple RIP post for somebody who has said controversial things, and how dare you not allow us to ridicule him when you have ridiculed other people. And then they brought up the people that were ridiculed who were like terrorists and dictators. So basically comparing this man who just wanted to speak to people, comparing him to all the worst terrorists and dictators. The complete inability to form basic judgments and thoughts by the people on the hard left is just, it's so fascinating to watch. I mean, the really crazy ones have basically left my page. I hardly ever block any of them, but some of the ones who hang on, I don't know why they hang on, because I stubbornly argue with them till the bitter end until they can't take it anymore. I don't block them in general. Unless somebody poses an actual physical real life threat, I don't block people. I consider it a badge of honor that I will I will go down with them all the way down to argue every single point until they give up. But sometimes I waste too much time when I could be making more productive videos and using my time better. But it just blows my mind. I can't believe that this wonderful human being, and I would say the exact same thing. Here's the main point. I would say the exact same thing if somebody that dignified and kind and good-hearted held opinions that I totally disagreed with. If they were a full-fledged communist, if they were if they had the opposite view of mine on every issue, but never harmed a soul and just wanted to talk to people, and they got murdered for their beliefs, I would say the same thing, and I would fight anybody who dared to disrespect their memory. Verbally fight. The nation mourns for this good man, and I'm also equally heartened to see how many people have come out to just say what a wonderful person he was and how much good he did in the short time he had on this earth. Everyone is missing this man, and I think that is actually a beautiful thing that, as I said in my first video that was very short, many more will rise up and do much more than he could have done on his own because of this. So anyone who thinks that they silenced him, all they did was stir up 10 times as much conservative speakers and thinkers and people ready to debate and talk and not be afraid to speak on issues. What do you guys think? You can tell me in the comments.